Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If Reborn as Gohan in future timeline. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 231. Of the 6 fallen gods of destruction, according to the Grand Priest's information, 2 are actually as strong as Beerus, and the other 4 are not much weaker. With such tyrannical strength, it is extremely difficult to kill them. Even if he tried his best, he may not be able to defeat Beerus, let alone kill him. Each god of destruction has existed for countless millions of years. Which one does not have its own trump card in life-saving means? How could it be so easy to kill? Gohan felt that he still had to make a lot of preparations. And once again he felt the fear caused by insufficient firepower. To become stronger, he has to become stronger. Southern Galaxy. Cooler Armored Squadron Base. Gohan suddenly appeared here. He came to see Cooler. The purpose is also very simple. He wants Cooler to accompany him to the Dark Demon Realm. In Gohan's view, among the people he knew, Cooler had great potential and will help him succeed. His amazing talent makes even Son Goku, Vegeta, and Broly have to stand a little aside. It's not that the talents of Goku and others are not good enough, they are very good, but Cool's is a step above them. Cooler's black form is the best proof. Although this is the result of more than 10 years of training in the hyperbolic time chamber, it is still amazing. So what would happen if he practiced for another 10 years? If it doesn't work in 10 years, what if he practiced for another 100 years? In short, if there is a hyperbolic time chamber, if he practiced in it for 100 years, wouldn't it only be some month on the outside? This is Gohan's greatest source of confidence. But when Gohan came here, he couldn't sense Cooler's aura. Now with the mastery of the God Ki, Gohan has learned the instant teleportation that Supreme Kai attendant Kibito. Within the scope of the 7th universe, he can sense of anyone Ki that he familiar with. Not sensing Cooler's Ki, Gohan secretly guessed in his heart. Where has this guy gone? Is he really so stubborn that he went to practice in the hyperbolic time chamber again? His appearance naturally attracted the attention of some soldiers of the Cooler's armored squadron. In just a few seconds, Gohan was surrounded by several soldiers. Who are you? What are you doing here? A soldier looked at Gohan cautiously and asked. Of course, Gohan would not care about this with them, and said, I am Gohan. I have something to talk to your commander. Please pass it on. Who? Our commander can't be seen by everyone. One of the soldiers said. How do ordinary soldiers know who Gohan is? What's more, this is the Southern Galaxy, and Gohan's did not have any reputation here. Do he has to use some violence? Gohan frowned, feeling helpless. He was simply fed up with this cliché plot. Who? Gohan? At this moment, a voice sounded and someone came over. The soldiers surrounding Gohan heard the sound and immediately gave way to a passage, exposing Gohan's figure. A soldier quickly came forward to report, yes, Captain Sazar, he said his name is Gohan and he is looking for our commander. The soldier hadn't finished speaking. After Sazar saw Gohan's appearance, his legs became weak and he stumbled and almost fell to the ground. As Cooler's second in command, he naturally knows who Gohan is. He trotted over, go. I'll take care of it. Yes. All the soldiers responded in unison, and then dispersed in an orderly manner. Sazar ran to Gohan, smiled and said, they don't know your identity, please don't mind them. It's okay. Gohan responded, looking at the blonde young man with interest. Are you Sazar? Sazar was a little flattered and nodded, yes, do you know me? Gohan smiled. Yes, I've heard of you. Gohan smiled and nodded. In his heart, he secretly thought that Sazar was really nostalgic. Based on the aura exuding from Sazar's body, it is estimated that he only has a fighting strength of more than 100,000. Such combat power has long been useless by this era. But Cooler hasn't given up on him yet, which is really rare. When Gohan said that he had heard his name, Sazer's eyes lit up. He said, "Mr. Gohan, Commander Cooler is practicing. I will take you there right now." "Okay." Gohan nodded. "Please come with me." Sazer looked very polite. Sazer took Gohan for a while and introduced the situation of the Cooler's armored squadron as he walked, just like a qualified tour guide. Soon, the two stopped in front of a gate. Sazer said, "The commander is practicing inside now. Do you want to go in directly?" Gohan took a look and felt that the gate was exactly the same as the hyperbolic time chamber of the Earth Kami Temple. "Sure, I'll go in first, you can go." "Yes." Sazer bowed respectfully and then withdrew. It's interesting. This guy Cooler actually used Dragon Balls to copy the Earth's hyperbolic time chamber. Gohan shook his head and smiled, then opened the door of the hyperbolic time chamber. Sure enough, the layout inside was exactly the same as the hyperbolic time chamber in the Earth Kami Temple. After Gohan closed the door, he walked inside. Then I saw Cooler practicing. Whoosh! A key ball whizzed over. Gohan waved it away and laughed. Cooler, is this how you entertain guests from across the galaxy?" Cooler narrowed his eyes and stared at him coldly. "What are you doing here?" Gohan said, "Of course I am here to practice with you. If we do it together, we can surely achieve a faster progression?" "I don't need it." Cooler shook his head. "You sure?" "I do have a good experience in practicing to become strong. You did feel the effect of my training." Gohan said. "I said I don't need it. If there's nothing else, please leave quickly and don't affect me." Gohan rolled his eyes and sneered, "Cooler, do I need your permission to go wherever I want?" "I can go wherever I want, and I can stay wherever I want." "What? Don't accept it? Beat me first." As he said this, he waved his hand, taunting Cooler. "You, damn it, how dare you belittle me?" Cooler was furious and clenched his fists loudly. Chapter 232. Gohan has rich training experience and also has rich methods of irritating people. Cooler succeeded in being angered by him. "Bastard, you're going too far." Immediately, a black-purple aura exploded, and Cooler turned into a black form, gritting his teeth and rushing towards Gohan. There we go. Gohan also laughed ferociously, mobilized his ki, turned into his beast form, and went up to meet Cooler. Bang bang bang! A moment later, Cooler was trampled under his feet and his nose was bruised and his face was swollen. Do you accept it?" Gohan asked. "I don't accept it, you just cheated." Cooler lay on the ground and gritted his teeth. Gohan smiled. "Cooler, how old are you? After all, you are a galactic conqueror. Don't you ever heard the saying that all is fair in a war? If you don't accept it, try it again. Even if I don't change into my beast form, you still can't beat me. Damn, you better keep your word, I won't let you become the silver-haired demon. Come on." Gohan turned into Super Saiyan 4. At first Cooler had the upper hand, but it only lasted for a quarter of an hour before he was defeated again. Cooler is numb. This is bullying. How can Gohan bully him like this? But fortunately, his mentality is not so fragile. Instead, he has a tendency to become more courageous with every setback. He got up and fought Gohan again, but Gohan beat him until his nose was bruised and his face was swollen. After failing a dozen times, Cooler simply lay down on the ground and never got up. He was panting and bruised all over, so he just let it go. "Are you convinced?" Gohan asked, sitting cross-legged next to him. Cooler didn't say anything, just lying there, making it obvious. "Did I broke your sound pipe?" Gohan said, throwing a healing spell at him. Cooler felt that his injuries had healed and his physical strength had returned to its peak, but he still lay down and did not get up. After a moment, he said, "Gohan, do you think there is hope for me to defeat you in this life?" The voice was very resentful. You still have the chance, maybe you have greater potential than me. Gohan said, talking casually. Cooler said, potential? Huh, this thing is invisible and intangible. How can I be sure? Is it really that important to defeat me? Cooler Golo sat up and gritted his teeth and said, of course it's important. Before I met you, I had never lost. Gohan glanced at him and sighed, it's certainly not wrong for you to want to defeat me, but don't go too far. The reason that we practice is actually to defeat our past selves. We are stronger today than yesterday and constantly break through our own limits. This is the purpose of practice. We will get stronger and stronger. Gohan explained. Stop bullshitting, I just want to defeat you. Cooler said, standing up. Gohan looked at him. Cooler said, okay, I've rested. Let's fight again. I just thought of a good move. This perverted bastard, Cooler though. Gohan glanced at him silently and stood up. Okay, let me beat you into a pig head again. Bang bang bang. Their fists collided with each other, and the speed of both of them reached the extreme. Ki splashed everywhere, setting off endless waves in this pale space. The battle continues. A year later, Cooler had a deeper understanding of the black form, and Gohan's basic combat power was also soaring. The next year, Cooler learned a lot of Gohan's moves in the battle, and he was ecstatic. Of course, Gohan also learned Cooler's moves. Third year. Fourth year. In the fifth year, Cooler thought of the evolution route of Black Cooler and began to try it. Gohan also wondered whether there would be further transformations beyond Super Saiyan 4. In the 10th year, the new transformation was more difficult than imagined. Although Cooler made great progress, he was still unable to complete the new transformation. On the one hand, it took him 10 years to evolve from the gold form to the black form, but he is getting stronger. Getting to the next stage will take longer. Gohan's strength is getting stronger and stronger, and he discovered that once each of his transformations is strengthened, his Limit Breaker Ultimate Beast Form strength will inevitably skyrocket. This transformation of his is a fusion of several transformations, and its intensity has a lot to do with the intensity of the other transformations. In the 15th year, Gohan felt that his Super Saiyan 4 had reached a bottleneck and could no longer progress. With a loud shout, he broke through the limit and entered a new realm. Super Saiyan 5. The appearance of Super Saiyan 5 does not change much from that of Super Saiyan 4, except that the hair and fur all over the body have turned silver white, and even the pupils have also turned silver. It looks like a Super Saiyan 4 who has mastered the Ultra Instinct. But of course, that's not the case. With the breakthrough of the Super Saiyan form, Limit Breaker Ultimate Beast form has become more powerful. Cooler also made a breakthrough, with the whole body panels shining with dazzling luster, shining like diamonds. From black form to diamond form. Diamond Cooler. Gohan was worried that he stay in seclusion for too long, so he smashed the hyperbolic time chamber barrier with one punch, returned to the outside, and then returned to the Earth. After practicing in the hyperbolic time chamber room for 15 years, only 15 days have actually passed outside. But Gohan really misses his family. He has experienced 15 years without seeing them. Since his rebirth, he has never been away from the Earth for such a long time. But this time when he came back, he actually received good news. Broly and Kale, these two boring gourds, have become a couple, and it will be a matter of time before they can make a little rampaging Saiyan baby. As for Caulifla, she really succeeded in breaking through to Super Saiyan 3. Gohan then found Goku, Vegeta, Trunks and others, and told them about the fallen god of destruction, asking them to practice hard and train in the hyperbolic time chambers. Then, Gohan went to the destruction planet again and had a fight with Beerus. This fight stunned Beerus. Beerus couldn't figure out how Gohan had made so much progress in such a short period of time. If the last battle was evenly matched, then this time, Beerus was suppressed and beaten by Gohan the whole time. Beerus's mentality is already a bit broken. Beerus even suspected that Gohan could kill him now. Lord Beerus, you have to work hard. Gohan winked at him, and then returned to the Earth. Perhaps, it's almost time to go to the Dark Demon Realm. His strength has improved greatly, and it has become possible to kill the 6 fallen gods of destruction. After spending 2 days with his family on Earth, Gohan headed to the southern galaxy again. Just to be on the safe side, he will train with Cooler for a few more years. Hyperbolic Time Chamber, one of the most OP cheat in the DB universe. The positioning of the 5 Super Saiyan powers here is different from that in Dragon Ball AF. In this book, Gohan and the 4th Super Saiyan form can already defeat Black Cooler. Everyone must remember that transformation is only a means, the foundation power is fundamental. Different people have different strengths in the same transformation. Moreover, Super Saiyan 5 will not be used as a mainstream transformation here, but to enhance the Limit Breaker Ultimate Beast form. Chapter 233. In the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, 5 years later. What did you say? You are going to the Dark Demon Realm? In the time room, Cooler looked at Gohan in surprise. Gohan nodded and said, "Yes, I plan to let you go with me. How about it? Want to go and see it?" Gohan originally thought that Cooler would refuse, but unexpectedly he directly agreed. Okay, chasing and defeating a god of destruction, it's very exciting just thinking about it. Indeed, but it's also very dangerous. Gohan said with a smile. With your current strength, you should have no problem dealing with the average god of destruction. So you regard my current strength as an average god of destruction? How does that compare to Beerus? Lord Beerus is of course much stronger than you. He is the top among the gods of destruction. What about you? Can you defeat him? Cooler looked expectant. Gohan smiled and said, "Now, yes." Gohan believed that since he asked Cooler to go to the Dark Demon Realm with him and Cooler had agreed, he could not hide it and should give him enough confidence. Cooler was not surprised by Gohan's words, but felt that it should be the case. He subconsciously believed that Gohan was stronger than Beerus. Cooler narrowed his eyes and said, "You never used your full strength when fighting me before, right? Let me see your full strength." "Okay, but I'm afraid your hyperbolic time chamber won't be able to withstand all my power." "Oh, that is okay. At worst, I can just build another one." Gohan grinned. "Well, since you said, I won't pay for it." Snort! Stop talking and hurry up. Ha! Cooler shouted violently, first transforming into his current strongest state. Diamond Cooler. But seeing the ki all over his body soaring into the sky, it was almost substantive. Along with the noble lightning, the panels all over his body also shone like diamonds. Every time I see your transformation, I feel that you are a royalty. Gohan smiled. Cooler grinned, his teeth sparkling. I am indeed very rich, and I am an emperor. Gohan was silenced by him. It's time for Cooler to feel the pressure. Gohan chuckled, clenched his fists, his muscles bulged, and his momentum suddenly exploded. Boom! His body instantly grew taller, his silver hair reached the sky, a sun-like halo appeared on his forehead, and even his furry tail turned silver. His 2 pupils glowed strangely red, looking very evil. The aura of that body expanded, silver and purple intertwined, and invisible airwaves crushed towards Cooler. Crack! Crack, crack, crack! The hyperbolic time chamber could no longer bear such a terrifying ki, and big holes opened up one after another in the pale sky, as if it might collapse at any time. What the hell are you doing? Cooler was stunned when he felt the aura that almost made it difficult for him to breathe. He knew Gohan's beast form and had seen Super Saiyan 5, which Gohan perfected years ago. But he had never seen Gohan like this before. Gohan looks a lot like beast form in Super Saiyan 5, but he knows it's not the case at all. Gohan in this form was much more powerful, making him feel suffocated. This annoying guy is hiding so deep that he actually has another transformation? For a moment, Cooler was indignant and angry that he had been deceived. Just then, he saw Gohan grinning and extending his hand to him. In an instant, Cooler felt a tide of ki coming towards him from all directions. Chills ran down the soles of his feet, rising up the back of his legs to his spine, and then straight to the skull. A chill swept through his whole body. Danger! Cooler's soul was all gone, and he thought about leaving the place, but found that the space seemed to have become thicker, making it very difficult to move, and his movements became slow. This discovery shocked him even more. Ah! He shouted loudly, his momentum increased, and his body quickly escaped. Just before he was thankful that he was out of control, he suddenly discovered that Gohan had appeared in front of him at some point. He was bumping into Gohan, and the distance was less than 2 meters away. Not good. Cooler secretly thought it was not good, but it was too late to change direction at this time. Immediately, he powered up, the ki from his body spurted out, his speed increased again, and he punched Gohan. Bang! Gohan stretched out a finger and blocked his fist. Cooler's attack could no longer advance. You? Cooler's face looked ugly. Is the power gap so big? It's my turn. Gohan's voice sounded. Cooler subconsciously wanted to retreat. But before he moved, he felt a sharp pain in my abdomen. Gohan's fist had already hit his abdomen. Ah! Cooler let out a scream and felt that his intestines were about to be broken. His body flew out and he was directly smashed out of the hyperbolic time chamber and came to the outside world. Fortunately, his defense was amazing, so he was not instantly knocked out by Gohan. It's just that the pain in his abdomen is really uncomfortable. His body was rolled up like a shrimp, floating in the air, and his forehead was dripping with sweat. But a shadow quickly fell in front of him. He looked up and found that Gohan was already standing in front of him, holding down his palm in the air. In Cooler's stunned eyes, Gohan stopped when his palm was only 20 centimeters away from his face. The dark sky suddenly cleared up at this time. Pressure plummets. Cooler felt completely exhausted. Gohan's voice rang out, "Can you feel it? This is my full strength." Cooler didn't know what to say. It turns out that their gap is way too big. Gohan can still kill him in seconds. Thinking of Gohan saying that his strength should be able to defeat the ordinary god of destruction, doesn't that mean that the current Gohan can also defeat those so-called top gods of destruction with the same move? Horrible. Simply terrible. Gohan threw a recovery spell on Cooler's body, which stopped Cooler pain of being torn apart. Cooler stood up straight and took a deep breath. Ha! With your strength, why do you want me to accompany you? Maybe you can solve it alone. Cooler said. Gohan shook his head. You are too optimistic. In the Dark Demon realm, there are not only 6 fallen gods of destruction who escaped, but also 10 dark demon gods that equal to God of Destruction. It's okay if they don't interfere, but if they collude, then what I have to face is the entire Dark Demon realm. No, in that case, my role is cannon fodder? Chapter 234. According to the information provided by the Grand Priest, the rules of the Dark Demon realm are similar to those of the Xeno universe. The Dark Angels are basically not allowed to interfere in mortal/demon affairs. The Lord of the Demon Realm, like Lord Xeno, has a noble status and will not take action easily. So his opponents would be from 6 fallen gods of destruction to 16 god of destruction level masters at most. But of course, if he kills all the Dark Demons God, it is not impossible for the Dark Angels to break the rules and take action or even. But, that's the worst case scenario. Gohan had made 3 preparations. Well, of course, the first thing to do is to see the attitude of the Dark Demon realm. If it is best for them to stay on the sidelines, then he can pass the level in simple mode. If the demon god of the Dark Demon realm intervenes, then he will have to deal with it. But in this case, the enemies he has to face will be very many and very difficult. Therefore, his third-hand preparation was Cooler. He planned to go to Supreme Kai Planet to borrow the Pod-Era earrings, but a trump card. Gohan smiled enigmatically and said, "Of course not, you have an important purpose." Seeing Gohan's weird smile, Cooler was confused for a moment. "Okay, you can go into the hyperbolic time chamber to practice again. I will come to find you in 5 days, and then we will go to the Dark Demon realm together." Gohan said. "Yeah, okay." Cooler nodded, agreeing. 5 days, that is, 5 years, he can still make progress. All in all, he has been in the time room with Gohan for 20 years. Thinking of this, Cooler couldn't help but be a little speechless. In his entire life, he had never thought that he would practice so hard, nor would he have thought of being alone with someone for such a long time. And he was beaten for 20 years. Gohan left Southern Galaxy. He first went to Supreme Kai Planet. It had been a while since he had been to Supreme Kai Planet. As soon as he arrived at Supreme Kai Planet, Gohan was startled by the sight in front of him. Is this still the Supreme Kai Planet in the memory? He saw Supreme Kai Planet at this time, with giant trees towering into the sky, and birds and beasts everywhere. On the ground, there were dinosaurs, lions, and cheetahs running around, and in the sky phoenixes, white cranes, and giant rock flew around. Gohan once thought that he was in the wrong place. But he saw the old Supreme Kai, the Supreme Kai Shin, and the attendant Kibito. He walked over, kicked away a running dinosaur, came to the side of old Supreme Kai, and asked, "Old Supreme Kai, during my absence, have you turned Supreme Kai Planet into a zoo?" "What do you mean?" The old Supreme Kai punched Gohan and said angrily, "Shin is practicing creating life. So what's weird about this?" Gohan suddenly realized, so that's it. So Supreme Kai Shin has made great progress. Last time I saw him struggling to build a small sapling. Well, Shin next to Gohan was speechless. He smiled dryly and said, "Ha ha ha, seeing Mr. Gohan practicing so hard, I have to work hard too." Okay, Supreme Kai Shin is very ambitious, I admire your tenacity." Gohan clapped his hands. The two exchanged business blows, and then Shin asked, "Mr. Gohan, what are you doing here?" Gohan also returned to the topic and said directly, "I would like to borrow the Pot-era earrings." Shin was stunned for a moment. Borrow the Pot-era earrings? That's right, because Lord Zeno has given me a very difficult mission. I'm going to the Dark Demon Realm. I really don't feel safe, so I came here to borrow this earring from Supreme Kai. So Gohan told the whole story, which surprised everyone. Shin doesn't understand the Dark Demon Realm at all. The old Supreme Kai had heard a little bit about it. However, the old man did not ask about the Dark Demon Realm. Instead, he was very interested in Gohan borrowing Potera's earrings. The old Supreme Kai smiled and said, "Boy, you requested to borrow the Pot-era earrings by name. Do you know the secret of the Pot-era earrings?" Gohan did not hide it, and said generously, "Hee, of course, Fusion, Grandpa, don't forget my current identity, I am the trainee god of destruction, isn't it normal to know these things?" On the other hand, Shin and Kibito next to them were confused. The secret of Pot-era earrings? Fusion? What does this mean? Why don't they understand? So the upright Shin asked out of curiosity, "Ancestor, what does fusion mean? Is there any secret to the Pot-era earrings?" The old Supreme Kai covered his face, speechless, and didn't want to say anything. Shin is such an unworthy descendant. He really doesn't know anything about it. He is like a novice who doesn't understand anything. It's so embarrassing. As a majestic Supreme Kai, he actually didn't even know the skill of creation before. It's no wonder that Universe 7's overall quality ranking is so behind. Half of this responsibility lies with Beerus, and the other half is due to this unworthy descendant. It's embarrassing. The old Supreme Kai didn't say anything, but Gohan said with a smile, "Supreme Kai Shin should know the fusion technique of Metamoran, right?" "Ah, I know this. Goku knows this move. He used this move to fuse with Vegeta a while ago and then defeated that gas, right?" Although he was not present at the time. But for such a crucial matter, the two Supreme Kai have been watching through the magic ball. Gohan nodded and said, "Yes, that's it. Potera's earrings have such an ability. They can fuse without doing fusion dance steps. The two of them merge to become a powerful warrior." Shin asked again, "Then how can we fuse?" A set of Pot-era earrings, one person needs to wear it on the left ear and one person wears it on the right ear, and they can successfully merge into one person, but be careful. Gohan hasn't finished speaking yet. Then he heard Shin say, "Is that so?" Then he took off the earring from his left ear, and the confused Kibito also took off the earring from his right ear. Gohan and the old Supreme Kai were both stunned. What the hell are they doing? Neither of them can handle it. Just a moment. A suction force was created between Kibito and Shin, sucking the two into each other. A ray of light exploded. Two Patera earrings fell to the ground. Supreme Kai Shin and Kibito merged to form Kibitishin. Kibitishin looked at his hands in shock, feeling the power in his body that was countless times stronger than any of them before. He opened his eyes wide and shouted, okay, so awesome, such a powerful force, I feel terrifyingly strong now. The old Supreme Kai mercilessly ridiculed, no, with all due respect, it's just two little ants turning into one big ant. Don't be too arrogant. Ha ha ha. Kibitishin scratched his head and said with some embarrassment, then how do I change back? The old Supreme Kai put his hands behind his back and said with a smile, ho, I'm afraid you won't be able to change back. Chapter 235. Ancestor, can't you change back after fusion? Kibitishin was stunned. The old Supreme Kai put his hands behind his back, hunched over, walking like a crab, with a wrinkled smile on his face. Ho, yes, speaking of it, I was also a handsome man when I was young. The reason why I became like this is because an old witch stole one of my earrings and wore it herself. That's right. Then I merged with her, and I still look like this to this day. It's been tens of millions of years. Kibitishin was dumbfounded. He never thought that he can't change back, otherwise his hand would not be so fast. He can only blame himself for being so stupid and reckless. Speaking of fusion earrings, their function are the same as the fusion technique of Metamoran. The result is that two people merge into a more powerful warrior. It's just that the details are different. The Metamoran fusion technique requires adjusting the ki to be consistent and performing the fusion dance steps to complete the fusion. But the Patera fusion earrings are different. Patera earrings only require two people to wear the earrings on corresponding ears to complete the fusion, and there are no other conditions. But when it comes to gods, the results of fusion are different. Metamoran fusion technique, after two people fuse, they will become a powerful warrior with a new personality, not dominated by anyone's personality. And it will disintegrate in 30 minutes and become two people again. But so far, only mortal have tried to fuse in this way, and no gods have tried it yet. Therefore, it is not yet known what the result will be if God do the dance. As for the Patera earrings, as far as Gohan knows, after two mortals are fused using Patera earrings, they will also become a super warrior with a new personality. The fusion time is unknown. But if one of the parties is a god, the result becomes different. The fused person with the Patera fusion earrings will appear with a godlike personality as the dominant personality, and it is almost impossible to disintegrate. In other words, if a mortal and a god are fused using Patera earrings, then the mortal will only become the fusion material for the god. This is why Gohan was unwilling to use fusion earrings with Beerus and chose Cooler instead. Although Gohan is a candidate for the god of destruction, he is actually not a true god yet. He does not have the status of a god and is still in the realm of mortals. He doesn't want to become Beerus' high-level fusion material. This is not a fantasy, but there are already several precedents. For example, the old Supreme Kai. The old Kaioshin is still the old Kaioshin, and the witch has just become his fusion material. The two have not disintegrated after tens of millions of years of fusion. Another example is Zamasu from the alternate time. Although Zamasu captured Goku's body and was far more powerful than his original form, because he was not a god, after the two Zamasu were fused with the Patera earrings, it was obvious that Zamasu's original form was dominant. And there is also no time limit, and the fusion will not be released until it is wiped out by Zeno. Not to mention the distant one, let's talk about the outstanding example that is right in front of him. Although the image has changed, it is obviously that fool Shin. Hearing what his ancestor said, Kibito's soul became numb. Gohan thought to himself, poor Kibito. Gohan picked up the two earrings on the ground and said with a smile, it's not impossible. Maybe the Dragon Ball can help. Yes, in the opening chapter of Dragon Ball Super, Kibitishin defused with the help of the Namek Dragon Balls. Kibitishin was overjoyed, yes, we can make a wish to the Dragon Ball. The old Kaishin rolled his eyes at the two of them and said angrily, "Hey, it's shameful. A majestic Kaishin wants to rely on Dragon Ball's help." Kabitishin was immediately speechless and did not dare to refute. Gohan patted Kabitishin on the shoulder and laughed loudly. Ignore the old Supreme Kai, he just didn't think of this method, and now he is angry." The old Kaishin was indeed angry. He put his hands on his hips and retorted loudly, "Am I wrong? If you want to rely on the Dragon Ball for everything, this will only harm you." Yes. Gohan and Kabitishin also nodded repeatedly. Then, the two Kaishins began to worry about Gohan again. After all, he will be going to another world. And the opponents are all God of Destruction level masters. That level of power is simply too far away for them. Although they know that Gohan is very powerful and are always improving, his opponents are not easy and are very difficult. After chatting for a while, Gohan left Supreme Kai planet with the Patera earrings. He headed straight for Beerus's planet of destruction. This time it happened by chance. Beerus and Whis were both there. Gohan did not hesitate and directly expressed his intention to Beerus, saying that he would leave for the Dark Demon realm in 5 days. Beerus readily agreed. According to what he said, he had long been tired of staying in the Xeno universe, and was about to go to the Dark Demon realm to see what great places there were, and to spread his reputation to the Dark Demon realm. Very ambitious. Gohan admired him repeatedly and complimented him a lot, which made Beerus laugh. Gohan turned to Whis and asked quietly, "Mr. Whis, I want to ask you a question. The God of Destruction and Grand Supreme Kaido share the same life, right?" Regarding this matter, Whis once mentioned that Gohan asked this just to confirm again. Whis smiled and nodded and said, "Yes, for example, Lord Beerus, he is now tied to Supreme Kai Shin. Whenever one person's life is ended, then both people will die at the same time." Every time he talked about this matter, Beerus bared his teeth and felt uncomfortable all over. Now that Whis was bringing up old things again, Beerus began to pace back and forth uncomfortably again. Gohan asked, "Then who set these rules?" "Ho, it's the Grand Priest. Why are you asking about this?" Whis looked at him with a smile. Gohan raised his hand and pinched his chin, and said thoughtfully, "This is what I think. Since the 6 gods of destruction escaped to the Dark Demon realm, what about the corresponding 6 Grand Supreme Kai? Will they not follow them? Did they escape to the Dark Demon realm? I have never heard of this from the Grand Priest." Listening to Gohan's words, Whis probably knew what Gohan meant, with a look of admiration in his eyes, and said, "Mr. Gohan is really smart. Those 6 Grand Supreme Kai have not escaped to the Dark Demon realm, and they are still here. In their own universes. It's just that Mr. Gohan may be disappointed." After the 6 gods of destruction absconded, the Grand Priest checked the relationship between them. The result is that the relationship has been severed, which means that now, even if one party dies, they can no longer interfere with the other party. Gohan was a little shocked and said, "Someone broke the rules set by the Grand Priest?" Whis said, "I don't know. It might be because they are no longer in the same world, and then the relationship was broken. If someone in the Dark Demon realm artificially interrupts this bond, then it will be very detrimental to Mr. Gohan." Gohan also frowned and said solemnly, "Yes, if there is someone in the Dark Demon realm who can break this bond, it must be a powerful person at the level of a Grand Priest. That is to say, it is possible it was the work of the 12-winged Dark Angels, and even the Lord of the Dark Demon realm intervened in this matter, which is naturally not good for me. Their purpose may be more than that, maybe to cause a war between the 2 worlds." After some analysis, Gohan only felt a pair of invisible hands enveloping him, making it difficult for him to breathe. Some preparations. Chapter 236. Damn, this is so stressful. But who can put less pressure on him? Suddenly transformed from assassin to a negotiator at war between the 2 worlds? From killer to alien investigator? From being a candidate for the God of Destruction to becoming a pioneer in the development of another world? In short, it is very abstract and alternative. There's no point in reasoning about this. If he is not satisfied with the reward after completing the task, he will just flip the table. But now, he need to do it. He had no choice. He can only take one step at a time. After talking to Whis and agreeing on a departure time with Beerus, Gohan hurried back to Earth. He decided to spend a few days with his family before setting off. This kind of rest time is really precious. It seems that he has not had a good rest since his rebirth. He decided to give himself a few days off. After decades of practice, he needs some time off. The key is that he has stayed in the hyperbolic time chamber for more than 20 years, and his spirit has been really tense recently. There is absolutely no point in forcing training like this. Might as well relax and unwind for a few days. Enjoy his family life, otherwise he thinks he will be broken. Xeno Temple. It still looks the same as it has for hundreds of millions of years. Lord Xeno sat on a chair, with 2 guards standing beside him. The Grand Priest also stood aside with his hands behind his back. Lord Xeno looked up at the 18 cosmic star maps above the temple, was silent for a while, and then said to the Grand Priest, "Grand Priest, what do you think about this? I don't want anything to happen to Gohan." The Grand Priest said, "Everything is not yet known. We just hope that things are not what we imagined. The multiverse and the Dark Demon Realm have had a truce for several epochs and have always been in peace. Once this balance is broken, it will be very terrifying disaster. Mr. Gohan has always been very lucky, and grew powerful really quickly, and is very smart. There is no one more suitable to complete this task than him. Whether it is the guiding angel of our universe or the dark angel of the Dark Demon Realm, they have always maintained a neutral attitude, so naturally they cannot send angels to deal with Mr. Gohan, otherwise this will be a signal to start a war. We can only find a suitable god of destruction to perform this task from among the gods of destruction. But among the gods of destruction, I have looked through them. Either they are not strong enough. There is no god of destruction who can take on this important task. Although Mr. Gohan is not the god of destruction, there is no doubt that he is very powerful. On the other hand, although Beerus is powerful, his popularity is really poor. He is willful and impulsive in his actions, and he is not smart enough. It is difficult for him to take the lead. However, being a thug is good. Mr. Gohan and Beerus have a good relationship. After Mr. Gohan was selected to carry out the mission, Beerus took the initiative to ask to accompany him. With the 2 of them, and they are already the best lineup that our universe can pick. Your Majesty, don't worry. With Mr. Gohan's ability, he will definitely be able to complete the mission. We will just wait and see. Lord Xeno said, then I have to think carefully about what reward to give him. What does the Grand Priest think? 5 days later. Gohan went to the God of Destruction planet to pick up Beerus, then went to the southern galaxy to extract Cooler from the hyperbolic time chamber, and went straight to Universe 11. When the 3 of them arrived at the passage, they were surprised to find that in addition to Dipso and Tupper, Jiren was also guarding here. Gohan asked in surprise, "Jiren, are you guarding this place?" Jiren shook his head and said, "No, I'm waiting for you here," he said and nodded to Beerus and Cooler. "Waiting for us?" Gohan was a little surprised, then he thought about Jiken and said, "Could it be that you want to go to the Dark Demon Realm with us?" Jiren nodded heavily, "Yes, I also want to go to the Dark Demon Realm." Gohan knew what he was going to do. It was nothing more than taking advantage of this opportunity to track down the monster that killed Jiken. Gohan frowned, looked at Jiren for a moment, and then said, "I can let you go with us, but I have a request. You must listen to me and not act without authorization. If you promise, then you can go along with us." Jiren nodded and agreed without any hesitation. Gohan said helplessly, "Okay, then let's go." The 4-member team was thus formed. Gohan pondered for a moment and said, "This is the first time for all of us to go to the Dark Demon Realm. We have no experience. We don't know whether the destinations of these space passages are the same place or randomly teleported. So I suggest that we hold each other together for a while and try not to scatter. Of course, this passage may also force us to separate. If this is the case, everyone should survive on the planet where they settle first. I will try my best to find you. Then we act together. The other three people also secretly admired the way Gohan spoke in an organized and thoughtful manner. Pulling each other's arms, the four of them flew into the space crack. Gohan only felt that the world was spinning, the surroundings were colorful, and then there was a tearing feeling. He suddenly discovered that the three people traveling with him had disappeared, and he was the only one left spinning in the space passage. Seeing this, Gohan couldn't help but complain, "Damn it, no matter how many methods I try, it's useless. In the end, I still haven't understand the space rules. Is this the ending of the successful separation? Gone." After a moment of spinning, Gohan felt a bright light appear in front of him. After rushing out of the passage, Gohan was still slightly surprised. At this time, he was high in the sky. When he looked up, there was a huge blood moon in the sky, dyeing the whole world dark red. Looking at this scene, Gohan couldn't help complaining, "This is the Dark Demon Realm? Why not call it the Red Realm? This makes it more appropriate." Of course, complaints are complaints, but Gohan still secretly noted his position. After all, the space crack is high in the sky not far away. If he want to return to his universe, GE may need to come here. Gohan's key sense spread out in all directions instantly. After some investigation, Gohan determined that there were no demons nearby. In other words, there are no demons here to guard this space passage. This was an unexpected surprise. Gohan lowered his head and looked at the planet at his feet, and his figure appeared on the dark red ground in a flash. He squatted down, grabbed some dirt and rubbed it on his fingertips, then put it to the tip of his nose and sniffed. The result is that the soil here is actually no different from that on the Earth. After slapping the mud off his hands, Gohan began to sense the ki of the other three companions and he frowned. Chapter 237. Gohan frowned. In this situation, there are probably only two possibilities. Beerus and the other three were randomly teleported to other universes, or they might be in this universe, but the distance was too far. As in the informative, there is not only one universe in the Dark Demon Realm, but as many as 10 universes. So according to the current rules of random teleportation, the probability of two people appearing in the same universe is not high. What's more, they all have means of concealing their aura, making it even harder to find them. The result was that after preparing for such a long time, they were suddenly caught off guard by the effect of the passage. Okay, in the end he need to do this alone. Not only that, even the aura of the dark demon god of this universe is missing. Gohan couldn't help but hold his forehead, and thought helplessly, it's probably because this planet is too remote, in some deserted corner of the universe. But it's not that remote, and there are indeed people. No, it should be demons. There are many demons. Gohan sensed a lot of abundant life ki. Whoosh! He dodged in the direction of the breath and disappeared on the spot. When Gohan's vision became clear again, he saw plump and hot girls. These fairies are all turbulent, bulging forward and backward, fully satisfying all the fantasies. Her inhuman parts are also very cute. Fair and slender with pink and charming round legs. There are a pair of pink horns on the top of the head, and red eyes that are about to burn. A small black leather whip with a heart-shaped tail of love at the end. At first glance, she is a succubus who is popular among male. Gohan's sudden appearance was discovered by a succubus. Hey, who's the new guy? He looks really delicious and juicy. The gentle voice of Miss Succubus sounded, and her whole body exuded a sweet smell, full of temptation. Whoosh! Gohan disappears again. Ah! Where are you? The succubus looked around, looking for Gohan's figure. For a while, there were waves after waves, white and pink, dazzling. Where is the delicious guy? Why did he suddenly disappear? He looks very strong, so he must be delicious. Look for it quickly. At the same time, Gohan calmed down his aura and lay on the roof like a piece of wood. The roof where Gohan is located is very high, making it difficult for the succubus below to spot him. After some observation, he felt a little numb. This is indeed a succubus lair. It can also be said to be a succubus livestock breeding factory. In a huge room downstairs. The succubus ladies kept a group of white and tender babies in captivity. The babies were all male and there was not a single female baby. The succubus held the babies and fed them breast milk. Good baby, grow up quickly, become tall and handsome, and become our cows so that we can squeeze your milk with all our strength. You are all our livestock and our food. The babies didn't understand anything and greedily sucked the walking self-service bottles. Gohan felt a little uncomfortable all over. Damn, I've learned a lot. Let me take a look. It is conceivable that when these baby boys grow up, they will be squeezed by the wolf-like succubus sisters in turn, and eventually die of overwork. What kind of tragedy is this? Not far away, it looked like a huge prison, surrounded by barbed wire. There, it was an adult male who was locked up. Baby boys are sent here when they grow up. The male demons here all wear collars, have sunken eye sockets, dull eyes, and are as skinny as wood. They all look like skin and bones. No wonder the succubus looked hungry when they saw the strong Gohan. In this comparison, naturally the stronger ones are more delicious and attractive, and have greater taste. These male demons are actually only young adults, but they are already tortured to this point. At this age, they should be the most energetic, but their hair is already gray, they have to hold on to the wall even when walking, and their eyes are empty. He can imagine how the succubus squeezed them cruelly. Even though all the succubus have hot bodies and beautiful and delicate faces, they still have to eat more than 10 times a day. It's really a bit more ferocious than hungry wolves and tigers. However, these skinny guys who seem to be knocked down by the wind, when they see the beautiful succubus coming one by one, their eyes will immediately turn into the look of love, and they want to give everything they have fallen too deep. Their dignity, their bodies, and their personalities were all shattered to pieces under the control of the succubus. A gust of wind blew. Crack! There was a young male demon who fell to the ground because there was no wall to support him. He struggled and couldn't stand up. The milking worker in charge of the inspection squatted down, checked it and concluded, "No, it's completely broken." As soon as she finished speaking, 2 low-level demons came over and carried the broken cow onto a stretcher, preparing to transport it to the fertilizer factory. The young cow lying on the stretcher struggled and cried heartbrokenly. "No, don't send me away, I can still do it, I can still get up, don't." But he was too weak, and no matter how hard he struggled, it was of no use, and in the end he could not escape the fate of being turned into fertilizer. Gohan, who was lying on the roof, silent. Devil, definitely a devil. Even though the succubus are all prim and beautiful, they are all devils through and through. Everything about them, their beauty, their sexiness, are all weapons that exist to deceive men. When he first saw them, he was a little agitated, but now he has calmed down completely. All he can say is that it is indeed a dark demon realm. Even such a remote planet is so full of tragedies. He really want to go all out and kill all these demons. On the ground, the succubus were still looking for Gohan everywhere. But of course the result was nothing. The strong and handsome cow disappeared somewhere. A 36E succubus sniffed wildly, as if the place where Gohan disappeared left a sweet smell. Oh, it's so annoying. Such a big and handsome cow ran away. I feel really empty and in a bad mood. The 36E succubus patted her chest trembled, and she said sadly. Another 36D succubus immediately smiled and said, okay, you have to learn to be satisfied. Speaking of which, you probably don't know about the slums in the East. It is said that the succubus there are so poor that they can't even raise cows and can only feed themselves with plant. They have already made plans for soaking lotus root powder as a meal replacement. Chapter 238. Ah, I know, but that cow just now was so tempting. The 36E the succubus was still sighing. Cow. Gohan stood up on the roof. If it weren't for the fact that this planet had a space passage, he would have destroyed the entire planet. Keeping such planet would really bring disaster to the world. He stretched his muscles and prepared to leave. But unfortunately, he was discovered by a certain succubus. Suddenly, the entire succubus lair became lively. That's where you went. You are really disobedient. Come down quickly and let this sister love you. Come down, or I'll spank you if you don't come down. It's so high, how did you climb up there? You have so much strength. Come down, there are several big sisters below waiting to play games with you. The succubus were so excited that they drooled and chattered nonstop. What made Gohan speechless was that the cows in the cage actually showed jealous eyes when they looked at him. Gohan grinned. Okay, I'll come down and play with you, he said and jumped off the roof. When the succubus saw him jumping from such a high place, their faces turned pale. What should they do if their cow is broken? But what they never expected was that Gohan landed steadily without any problems. This made the succubus even more excited. What a strong, tall, handsome cow. Aha! The milk produced must be of high quality. The succubus breathing quickened. Their eyes turned into pink hearts, and they rushed towards Gohan. Hungry tiger pounces on food. Puff! There was a muffled sound. The fastest succubus girl threw her head high. The headless corpse, hot blood sprayed out like a fountain. Ah! Many succubus were drenched and screamed in terror. It didn't even occur to them that the cows would resist. So much so that they didn't react for a while. How dare you? One of the 36 succubi elder sisters said angrily. She wiped the blood sprayed on her face and took several steps back. Tisk, why don't I dare? Gohan sneered and waved again. Her head was also blown open. Suddenly, this small space was filled with the smell of blood. Don't even think about escaping, Gohan said and glared again. A large succubus exploded and turned into a blood mist. The succubus sisters are running around everywhere. From this point of view, Gohan is more like a devil. A succubus bumped into the fleeing succubus head-on. What's going on? What are you running for? She stopped the succubus who was running away and asked. Run, a cow is going crazy and killing us. The succubus who ran out of the nursery was confused. Cow? Killing the succubus? What kind of outrageous statement is this? But before she could recover, a beam of ki pierced the air and pierced her body, causing her to die. The ki beams, as dense as rain, continued to pour out, harvesting the lives of each succubus. In just a few breaths, all the succubus on the planet fell into a pool of blood. On this day, blood flowed like a river. Gohan tears open the iron fence holding the cow. Looking at the skinny male demons, he said, Okay, you can leave here. No succubus will oppress you anymore. But what Gohan didn't expect was that the cows roared at him. What are you doing? Who asked you to meddle? We have a good time here. You damn beast, bastard. You sister, all the sisters are dead. One of the cows cried bitterly. Gohan was so angry that he laughed. Some servility has been engraved in the bones and cannot be changed. Then he has to respect their fate. Then you should go and die too. Gohan smiled and raised his hand, and all the cows turned into mist and blew away in the wind. The corpses of the succubus also turned into light particles. In just an instant, the planet where the succubus nested was reduced to a backward, desolate planet without intelligent creatures. Gohan teleported away from the planet without even looking at it again. After traveling around several planets like this, 2 days passed. Note, I don't know how to calculate the time in the Dark Demon realm. Gohan mainly relies on the Super Standby mobile phone brought from the Earth. On this day, Gohan came to a planet with a strange atmosphere. It's weird because there are a lot of demons on this planet, but they are all sleeping. All the demons on the planet are sleeping, which is obviously not normal. As soon as he set foot on this weird planet, Gohan also became a little drowsy. He shook his head, took out a bottle of water from the space, washed his face, and then regained consciousness. Damn it, what the hell, it can actually affect my mental state? What the hell is this place? Gohan immediately caught a sleeping demon and poured a bottle of water on his face. But, this guy just didn't wake up. Gohan slapped him several times before he finally wake up. The awakened monster opened its eyes in a daze and looked at Gohan with great dissatisfaction. He muttered, "What are you doing? I'm eating, and you wake me up? I'm starving to death. Eating while sleeping?" Gohan slapped him a few more times and said, "Are you fully awake now? Tell me, what's going on? Are you eating in your sleep? Oh, don't hit me since I'm awake. And how come you don't know this?" After the demon's explanation, Gohan finally understood what was going on. It turns out that the planet he is on is called Nightmare Planet. The demons living on this planet are born with an ability called dreaming. They can go to other people's dreams to cause trouble, create fear in others, and then harvest the fear. What they call food is the fear produced by the dreamer. To them, it was the most delicious thing in the world. They create fear, eat fear, and live off fear. And the people and demons who were trapped in their dreams would naturally be depressed when they woke up. Being sucked away. What an interesting ability. Gohan's eyes lit up after hearing this. So he asked out of curiosity, "Can you lock an object in a dream? Can this ability be learned?" The monster looked at Gohan, shrank its neck and said, "Are you from another planet?" This guy's reaction was very long, and he didn't realize this until now. Gohan raised his hand as if to slap him. He shrank his neck and cried dryly, "Ah, don't hit me. Don't hit me. This ability can't be taught, we are all born with it. If you want to learn, maybe you can live here and try go to sleep? Then what? Can we lock objects in the dream?" Gohan asked. It should be possible, but we all fall into dreams randomly. Chapter 239. Afraid that this guy would tell lies, Gohan put his hand on his head. The next moment, memories of the demon flashed through his mind. Well, fine, no lie. Gohan patted his shoulder and smiled, "Very good, you are very honest, then continue to have your sweet dream." The devil also wanted to say that he don't dare to sleep, he has to go home to sleep. As a result, in the blink of an eye, he was already on his bed. And Gohan has disappeared. The demon rubbed his eyes and touched his burning face. If it weren't for the pain on his face, he would have thought he had been tortured by another demon in a dream. Forget it, never mind, just keep sleeping. Saying this, he fell asleep. On the other side, Gohan found a safe place to lie down and tried to sleep, trying to see if he could wander into other people's dreams. Soon his eyelids became very heavy. He fell asleep. In the dream, he returned to his previous life. Then suddenly one day, Frieza suddenly burst out of the rift in time and space and blew up the earth with a single attack. Gohan suddenly woke up. Was he being tortured by someone else? Go back to sleep. He fell asleep quickly again. But this time, he found himself transformed into Frieza. Then, Goku, who was about to be beaten to death by himself, suddenly turned into a Super Saiyan and fought back against him. It was miserable, his body was torn into pieces. Gohan woke up again, sweating profusely. What's going on? No good results? After adjusting his posture, he wiped the sweat from his forehead and continued to lie down. Soon he went to sleep again. Who will it become this time? Oh, this time he became Goku. Of course Gohan didn't know that he was dreaming. He is Goku. The timeline is 3 years after defeating Frieza. The android was born. As Goku, he naturally has to go to fight and stop the killing of these two demons. But while fighting against number 17, his heart disease suddenly broke out. The severe pain in his chest made him so miserable that he could no longer even fly. Then, he was blown to ashes by a keyball from Android 17. Hoo. Gohan sat up in shock again, panting. He was speechless. What is this all about? But thinking about it carefully, there is actually a strange connection. Gohan continued to lie down. Soon he fell asleep again. So who is it this time? Gohan opened his eyes and saw a beautiful blonde woman at first sight. She said, "Number 17, you are so childish. I think it's best to kill in one go. It's boring to kill slowly." Number 17? Oh, I'm number 17 now. This blonde woman is my sister number 18. We are destroying cities and killing people for fun. Gohan was stunned for a moment, then laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, childish? I don't know what that is? The last time I lost in a video game, I destroyed the entire city." Humph. The beautiful blonde sister turned her head to the side, looking very arrogant. Gohan always feels that something is wrong. After a while, suddenly two figures flew quickly from the dist. Ants. With a boom, his sister was kicked away by the man with the broken arm. Gohan was stunned again? Why do you think this one-armed guy looks familiar? Isn't this me? Gohan though. But am I not number 17? Am I number 17 or Gohan? Gohan felt a little schizophrenic. He couldn't tell the difference, he couldn't tell the difference at all. The one-armed Gohan suddenly shouted, "Number 17, number 18, today is the day you two die." Gohan looked at his hands and felt numb. I'll fucking kill myself. Soon, it turned out that he was no match for the one-armed Gohan in Trunks, and was beaten to ashes again. Hoo. Gohan woke up again. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and was silent for a moment. This dream is really coherent. So, what is his nightmare? No, he really want to learn how to invade other people's dreams. Is he being played by someone else now? However, he was indeed a little curious about what would happen next. Dreaming about himself? Then what? What happens? Gohan sat for a while, the sweat on his body had almost dried, and he lay down again. Dream. But this time, he really became himself. He really became Gohan. Gohan looked at his surroundings and found that he was standing in a blood-red world. The stars beneath his feet are bright, the stars are flowing around his body, and he has the terrifying ability to shatter the universe. So who is his opponent this time? Gohan raised his head, his gaze penetrated the galaxy and landed on the black shadow covering more than 10 universes. This is this? Gohan was shocked. This time, he woke up before he was killed. But the level of panic in his heart was much greater than the previous times combined. What kind of figure is that? It was so dark that he could hold several universes just by raising his hand. He just glanced at it, and there were galaxies being annihilated. This time in his dream, his opponent actually existed like this. So who is he? Even if Gohan is a fool, he can probably dismantle half of it. That is most likely the Lord of the Dark Demon Realm, the Lord of Darkness. But it's hard to say, it might be the 12-winged Dark Angel. Anyway, Gohan didn't believe that any powerful person with the God of Destruction level could cause such a bad psychological shadow to him. Will I be killed? Will I be killed when I meet him? Gohan thought secretly. He decided to sleep again and see what would happen next. Although it was a dream, Gohan wanted to find out what was going on with such a strange dream. But something even more bizarre happened. Although Gohan fell into a deep sleep. But he didn't dream again. After a long time, he slowly opened his eyes and found that he had slept like this. Gohan was numb. Moreover, he couldn't sleep anymore. There was no other way, so he simply found a river, washed off his sticky body and drank some water. Then he sat by the river, took out food from the space and ate it. Gohan decided to live on this planet for a few days first, and then try to sleep again tomorrow to see if he could continue to dream. Of course, Gohan has also been sensing the ki of Beerus, Cooler, and Jiren but still has gained nothing. After eating and drinking, Gohan sat cross-legged on the grass on the river bank, meditating and practicing, and tempering his mental power. Now, he was the only one awake in the entire Nightmare Planet, while the other demons were all asleep. If one looked down from a high altitude, one will find that the entire Nightmare Planet is like a red eyeball. Chapter 240. The next day, Gohan went to sleep again. But he still slept until he woke up naturally, and he still didn't dream. On the third day, the same thing happened. On the fourth day, still no dream. Gohan had some doubts about life. What about invading other people's dreams? Now this dog planet has even taken away his ability to dream. Not only can he not invade other people's dreams, he can't even dream now. It's so fucked up. What is worth mentioning is that 4 days have passed, but the demon on this planet is still sleeping. According to the memory of the demon captured by Gohan, they only need to wake up once a month, and there is no need to worry about eating, drinking, and diarrhea, because these can be solved in their dreams. It's so convenient that it makes people jealous. Until the 5th day, Gohan still had not gained anything. He realized that he shouldn't continue to waste so much time on this planet. He silently wrote down this nightmare planet, marked it, and decided to find out more about it later. There are 3 main things he has to do now. 1. Find the 6 escaped fallen gods of destruction and kill them to complete the mission. 2. Find the 3 missing partners. 3. Find the dark demon god of this universe, or the dark realm god. As for whether it was what Whis and he had speculated, it's hard to say. No matter what, he has to meet these guys before he can learn the unknown secrets. Although Gohan was jealous that he had not learned the ability to enter dreams, he had no choice but to leave first. In this way, Gohan traveled through the universe for another 5 days and visited countless strange planets. On this day, he suddenly sensed 2 powerful key fluctuations. He narrowed his eyes and grinned. Hey, finally showed up. One of these, he was very familiar with, was the key fluctuation of the god of destruction of the universe. And the other violent key, if there are no accidents, should be the dark demon god of this universe. Are they really in cahoots with each other? Gohan didn't hesitate, his figure flashed and he teleported over. Dark Demon Realm. Universe 1, Dark Demon God Planet. At this time, there was a god and a demon having a conversation here. The god is none other than Raymond, the god of destruction from the original Xeno universe and Universe 18. The demon is Janeth, the dark demon god from Universe 1 of the Dark Demon Realm. Next to them, there is a 6-winged female dark angel named Hedorah. Raymond is about 1.9 meters tall, looks like a leopard, and is wearing the uniform of the god of destruction. Except for the blue faceplate, the dark demon god looks like an ordinary human being. He is over 2 meters tall and wears a fiery red robe. However, if one look closely, one will find that he actually has 2 more detail on the top of his head. A curved horn. As for the dark angel Hedorah, although she is called the dark angel, she wears a luxurious white dress, has a tall and curvy figure, a white face, silver hair, pointed ears, a crown on her head, and a golden magic scepter. She is about 175 centimeters tall and has a beautiful face, as if every part of her body was carefully crafted and impeccable. And there is a pair of black wings on her back. The reason why she is called Seraphim, 6-wing angel, is because when she exerts her full strength, the 2 wings on her back will turn into 6 wings. Janeth and Raymond sat around the stone table, drinking tea and talking. The dark angel stood quietly beside them, smiling and saying nothing. The dark demon god had an indignant look on his face and said, "Raymond, this Xeno is really a bastard. You just made a little mistake and he's going to kill you." Hearing that he had the audacity to call Lord Xeno a bastard, Raymond's face suddenly changed and he was horrified. He quickly said, "Don't talk about His Majesty Lord Xeno rashly. I did something wrong. I shouldn't have interacted with you in the first place. That guy Torres's private fight led to the destruction of most of the universe, and I ended up here. It's all my own fault. I can't blame Lord Xeno." Demon god Janeth heard that he had fled to the dark demon realm, but he was still defending the king. He sneered and said, "Hey, I didn't expect that you were still so loyal to him, but they want your life, my friend. But you can rest assured now that since you have come to the dark demon realm, there is no need to worry. His Majesty the Lord of Darkness will protect you." After saying that, he pondered again and then said, "It's just that the Lord of Darkness also has a condition." "What are the conditions?" Raymond raised his cup and took a sip of tea, looking directly at demon god Janeth and asked. Then Janeth said, "Submit yourself to the Lord of Darkness and be used by him." Raymond was silent for a moment, then raised his glass and drank it in one gulp. "Yes, as long as the Lord of Darkness can protect me, of course there is no problem." Janeth burst out laughing. Ha ha, brother Raymond, you are indeed a smart man, and His Majesty will not treat you badly. He said that as long as you are willing to surrender, then you will be a dark demon god of a new universe. Hearing what he said, Raymond's eyes suddenly widened. New universe? Janeth chuckled and said, yes, His Majesty the Demon Lord has recently obtained several hearts of universe and can create a new universe. The heart of universe? Raymond's breathing became rapid. This is a legendary treasure. If one get it, one have the opportunity to create a new universe. If he's lucky enough to get it. Anyway, you just have to be loyal to His Majesty from now on. Demon god Janeth laughed and raised his glass and clinked it with him. Raymond, does he have any other choice? Of course not. If he returns now, he is destined to die. Now in this dark demon realm, if he surrender to the Lord of Darkness, he may still have a chance of survival, or even become the new dark demon god. So he also smiled and said, Okay, from now on, I will follow His Majesty the Lord of Darkness. Ha, that's right, then you can stay here with me during this period and just wait for His Majesty call. Janeth, the dark demon god, was very satisfied with Raymond's performance and smiled happily. Raymond asked again, By the way, I wonder how the 5 gods of destruction who traveled with me are doing now. Demon god Janeth said, They are in the same situation as you now. Oh, that's good. Raymond nodded, but for some reason, the dark clouds in his heart did not dissipate, but became more intense. Hedora, who had been standing motionless, suddenly frowned her beautiful eyebrows and turned her head to look to the side. At this moment, Gohan's figure appeared out of thin air. He was walking towards them leisurely. After all, Raymond is not an ordinary character, but a strong figure of the god of destruction level. Their senses were also extremely sensitive, but they discovered it only half a second later than Hedora. The sudden appearance of Gohan made their faces change greatly. The 2 guys who were drinking suddenly stood up and stared at Gohan, who was walking towards them. Janeth couldn't help but speak first and shouted loudly, Who are you? How dare you break into the dark demon god planet without permission? Gohan tilted his head, stood and spread his hands and smiled. If I said that I was just a passing by, would you believe it? As Gohan said that, his face suddenly darkened. Then Gohan said, Then listen up. What is before your eyes is Son Gohan, the chief law enforcement officer of the divine realm in the universe. Listening to his words, Janeth and Raymond looked at each other. Divine law enforcement officer? What kind of priesthood is this? Why haven't they heard it? It sounds awesome. Of course they didn't. Because it was made up by Gohan in order to increase his reputation and gain fame in the dark demon realm. Sure enough, Raymond was frightened by this opening. Gohan raised his hand and pointed at Raymond, and his voice sounded like thunder in the sky. Raymond, the former god of destruction of the 18th universe. During his tenure, he ignored the divine rules and had a fight with Torres, the god of destruction of the 13th universe without authorization, causing the collapse of more than half of the 18th universe. Then, he fled to the dark demon realm out of fear of his crime. I am here to deliver your punishment. This word directly shook Raymond's head and made him dizzy. That wraps up this part of What If Reborn is Gohan in Future Timeline. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released 1 day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.